Why are BC emergency departments so crowded? The majority of British Columbian hospitals are consistently operating at over 100% capacity, which is affecting how well doctors can care for their patients in emergency departments. So, why does BC find itself in this situation? Several experts are stating this. Province shrank its acute care facilities in the 1990s, instead of maintaining and increasing it in anticipation of its population getting older and sicker. So let's dive into these 90s era funding cuts. Today's problems are a result of downsizing in the late 1980s and 1990s, when provinces and territories slashed the acute care capacities of their hospitals by around 30%. That's according to Dr. Alan Dormond, who has worked as an emergency physician in Ontario for 4 decades. Starting in the late 1980s, healthcare started to shift from inpatient care to outpatient care as hospitals cut back on extended care. In the early 1990s, provinces such as BC were scrutinizing their healthcare costs and determining they had more doctors and hospitals than they needed. When a new prime minister was elected in 1993, he began reining in federal deficits by, in part, cutting healthcare contributions to provinces such as BC. British Columbia, in response, made policy changes to reduce what it saw as excess healthcare costs. One such cost was excess hospital capacity. In 1992, BC had 112 hospitals open. In 1993, BC's population was around 3.6 million, with 13% of its population considered senior. Meanwhile, today, BC has 113 hospitals open. Its population is about 5.7 million, and 20% of the population is aged 65 or older. So there is reduced hospital capacity, meaning that there are fewer beds available in hospitals when there's an emergency, and the population is just older, meaning that they require more care. There's also a sicker population due to COVID, since BC hospitals have been dealing with a capacity issue for decades leading up to the COVID-19 pandemic. And lastly, when hospitals are over capacity, staff overload increases and people tend to leave, which means that there is also staffing shortages. So why are BC's emergency departments so crowded? 90s era funding cuts, aging patients, COVID, and staff shortages. But we're curious about your thoughts on this story, especially if you finish reading the entire thing with the rest of the details at infonews.ca.